All right. Backbone, episode 5. I'm here with Sophie.
You got it right?
Yep. Didn't get it wrong this time. Got the twins. Episode 5. How's things? How's your winter been so far?
It's been pretty good.
Yeah.
It's been pretty firm out actually. So slightly scary. Bales hurt a little bit more than usual.
Yeah.
Not our usual soft, slushy park laps, but
Yeah.
that's all right. Just keep the edges sharp.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we're here in front of Corroboree looking straight over at the bottom jump and the whole park. I don't think many other resorts have got anything close to this at the moment. Have you been anywhere else yet?
No.
No. Just looked online.
Yeah, I've just seen what's up and happening online.
Yeah.
We've definitely got the best park
For sure.
in Australia right now.
For sure.
But I think the snowmaking in this place is so good. You know, it keeps us alive
Yeah.
in these times.
For sure. All right. Well, we'll take it back to the start. I know you're from the south coast, Tathra specifically.
Yeah.
How was it growing up down there?
It was pretty good. Definitely some small town vibes.
Yep.
But yeah, it was pretty good.
Beach living.
Beach living.
Yeah.
Didn't grow up surfing though.
No.
Which slightly regret that now.
Yeah.
Didn't skate either.
No.
So I also regret that, but it was nice. It was good at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of sunshine, lots of
Lots
fresh
of-
air is always
yeah.
good for a kid growing up anyway.
Yeah.
So from down there to here, how did that happen, or where'd you get into snowboarding first?
So after I finished school, I ended up moving to Perth with a good friend of mine and my brother.
Yep.
And Georgia was still living in Tathra, and a bunch of our friends used to come up here a bit, and she came up with them on a trip. I think they may even have done their first season after school, so Georgia was coming up to see them.
Yeah.
And Georgia just told me that she really wanted to do a season. I said I'd be keen if we went to either one of the Victorian resorts or to New Zealand. And she said, all right, let's go to New Zealand. So in like the year after we finished high school, when we were 19, we moved to Coronet Peak.
Sick. Yeah.
Was our first season, and so we did the winter there and boarded Remarkables.
Sick.
Yeah, so that's how that began.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
And where'd you go after that? Did you? Because I think we were talking about it before. One of the first shots I saw of you was in Austria.
Yeah, so that wasn't for a few years later.
Yep.
As soon as we kind of got to New Zealand, we were pretty sold on the whole snowboarding thing. So I instantly wanted to go to Canada. Georgia definitely was not coming. She definitely was not coming, I mean. So we both went to Canada from there. And we spent the next 2.5 years in Whistler.
So when was that?
That was the 2012 to 2013 season for them.
Yep.
And the season after that. So we spent our summer there that year.
Okay.
And the next winter. And then from there, I think I then did a season I think we traveled Central America for like 3.5 months, and then I did a season in Fernie.
Yep.
And Georgia stayed in Whistler, and then I went back to New Zealand, and Georgia came to Australia for her first season in 2015.
Yep.
And then I think we met in Austria that year after that, and then we came. No, I've got that mixed up. After my first season in Gindi, 2016, we then went to Austria.
Went to Austria then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a few years into our snowboarding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so riding here, early days, I mean now there's obviously hundreds of chicks, well, maybe not hundreds in the park, but there's definitely a lot more than there used to be back in the day.
Yeah.
Anyone help you out in the early days? Like that intimidation factor here at Front Valley can be pretty gnarly. Like.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like Whistler is just the same.
Yep.
And we had such a big group of friends in Whistler that I didn't realise at the time, but coming here, it was that group of friends that were here too. Unfortunately, it wasn't actually any females, but there was a group of guy friends that we had, that we boarded with in Whistler that were also doing seasons here. I definitely looked up to some females, like in those first few years.
Aussies, internationals?
It was kind of like, I mean, I knew of the internationals, but I was more inspired by Jess Rich and Christy Pryor, just because they were from the southern mountains.
Yeah.
You know, and being able to watch what they did, I was like, wow, I want to be able to do that as well.
And had you seen them out here in New Zealand or Australia?
Yeah, so I'd seen Christy Pryor. When I was in New Zealand, I actually worked for events.
Yeah.
So I did all like the snowboard events, like I was kind of like the person who told athletes to drop.
Yeah.
So I got to see, you know, Christy Pryor and Jess Rich doing their runs and their like slopestyle events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was inspired by the internationals, but I just liked that, you know, Christy and Jess were from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And relatable too.
Yeah, and relatable for sure.
Any people you've met in the industry, like I know a lot of people say, you know, don't meet your idols, and something I've brought up on here is I didn't want to get people that I didn't think were nice people as well. And I mean, I didn't personally know you that well, but everyone's obviously said good things. Who in the industry, like, is a personality trait, like being a nice person, something that you thought of back then? Is that, you know, like now as you get older, obviously those sort of people have a bigger effect, but were you just into the riding, you know what I mean, and thought they were rad?
I definitely liked seeing, you know, like females who were pretty aggressive, I thought, and would, like they weren't scared of bailing. Like I feel like me and Georgia don't have amazing fundamentals, so, you know, trying to learn how to snowboard, we were bailing all the time, and just like seeing other females just get up after bailing so hard was like inspiring for me. I didn't know these people personally. I mean, they are nice when you
say good day or whatever.
Hey, you can drop now.
Yeah.
But I never like had full conversations really with many of the professionals at that time. So I'm sure if they were mean to me, I probably wouldn't have been that hyped on them.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
Some of my friends were already friends with them, so
usually comes with a nice introduction then that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And what about other, you've mentioned those girls, what about other Aussie riders, like later in your life that when you were coming up and when you sort of started making a bit of a name, like who else was ripping with you that you thought, you know, should be getting the attention?
Well, Tess Cody is obviously insane.
Yeah.
We always loved watching what she did in the park and like, oh, she did that, we can try and do that too. Or, but like even just boarding with Georgia goes so hard, and she honestly bails and gets back up. And, you know, I feel like just riding with her, seeing her bail, or, you know, like it didn't matter if she was there to at least like congratulate you or like pick you up off the ground. It didn't really matter. So having each other definitely helped, because we always like had someone there to be there with you.
Well, I keep asking about other girls and think, you know, with a twin sister, I'm guessing, and the way I've seen you two ride together and rip, and like you probably need that less of a support network than other people do because you're so close and, you know, both ripping like that. Yeah,
for sure, definitely. I feel like, you know, sometimes Georgia and I can get some tunnel vision and we just think that we're the only two people in the park and just, I don't know, block everyone else out and board together. I don't know.
That's sick though, like to do that, you know, because you probably know, you obviously know each other so well, you know what each other are about and what they're going to do, sort of thing, so the pushing would be already beginning before you even drop, right, like mentally.
And it's funny because in the earlier days, if we were up the mountain and one of us was killing it, the other one was not. It was like only one way. And I think there was one time we were filming each other and we both had ended up killing it, and we were like, yes, we've finally done it.
So finally did a day where both of you do it.
Yeah.
And was that here?
That was here. That was actually in Leichhardt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And you did a few laps there today. You've been getting about other than just Front Valley Park.
Yeah,
Is that normal?
For the first 5 years, I don't think I left Front Valley, but as time has gone on, I've tried to explore the mountain more.
Yeah.
People definitely make fun of me when we go out, and I'm like, where are we? We've done 9 seasons here.
You don't know where you are as soon as you leave Perisher.
Yeah. So trying to explore more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can definitely get stuck in Front Valley.
That's pretty easy to do when snow conditions are like this. Too. Speaking about that sort of thing, a lot of girls from Australia, when you were coming up, were jumpers. You mentioned Tess Cody, airbags, jumping, chucking yourself off things. Is that something you ever thought about becoming or want to do?
I would love to be able to jump, but I am so bad at it. So bad at it.
Yeah.
I definitely don't have the money to commit to going to the airbag.
Yeah.
It also slightly scares me, but jumping, like we'll hit some small jumps.
Yeah. I've seen you hit some jumps.
But it was never like a dream, I don't think.
You never wanted to do like cab dub or like triple or anything?
No, like...
Never got gymnastic on it?
No, which is funny because Georgia and I did gymnastics as kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did it for like 10 years.
Yeah?
Yeah, but we're just not that great at jumping.
What's the craziest gymnastic thing you ever did then? Like what was the big thing you did in that?
Well, it was like from when we were really young, so we stopped pretty early. Like we did it from when we were like 5 to 15.
Yeah. So what are we talking, like Baranis and those cartwheel things into the
Yeah.
Marcus Cleveland sort of stuff.
Yeah, pretty similar to what he does actually.
Same sort of shit.
Yeah, like a quad something off the jump, you know. Pretty easy to do.
For sure. A lot of girls doing that sort of thing now. Are you watching those sort of edits, like as a predominantly rail rider, and like I see you jibbing all the time? Do you watch that sort of stuff?
I actually love watching the slopestyle comps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any edits you've seen lately of like the big dogs or anyone you want to bring up, like jump wise and that sort of thing?
No, I haven't really been watching heaps lately.
No. You're a big clip person? You watch a lot of clips?
I do and don't. I just have a love-hate relationship with Instagram. I don't really love spending heaps of time on it. I don't love the person I become watching Instagram 24/7.
Yeah.
But like I definitely get sucked into the vortex.
As you do.
So yeah, I'm definitely post on the rare occasion when I feel the need.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't love spending time on it. But I feel like, I don't know, Instagram for me is like on its way out. We have the smallest attention span in the world these days. So
Seems
even
to be
half
building.
the clips I don't even remember, you know, I've watched and the next day I don't remember it.
Well, that's something I spoke to Charles about too. We were talking about you might watch the gnarliest clip you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And you don't even know the person's name or even their handle. And then the next day you're like, what was that again?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you don't even really remember it. Whereas before, the build up for parts or like a movie project, you know. What about that? That you've done a bit of filming with Modest. You went on a trip over there.
Yep, we did.
Tell us about that.
It was honestly 2 of the best weeks ever.
Yeah.
It was Georgia and myself and then a group of our guy friends.
Yeah.
I really just went for the culture and to experience that time with them. I enjoy snowboarding so much just purely for the connection I have with the friends around me. You know, I think that that's one of the biggest things that makes me want to snowboard every day is just being with those people.
Yeah.
And the times that we had there while we were snowboarding, like watching your friends overcome fear and the struggles and the, 7-Eleven and whatever visits.
Lawson's. Yeah.
the amount of shit that was talked. And, you know, watching Josh and Swifty get their fire extinguishers out and, you know,
wow,
spew up on the floor.
Shenanigans. There's always shenanigans on a snow trip like that.
It's entertaining. It's very entertaining.
And that was a full modest trip, was it?
Yeah, full modest trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so good. I loved every second of it.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Well, Longy's a big supporter. He's supporting the show. He's always giving us messages.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say to him now?
Well, thank you, Longy, for absolutely everything you've done for all of us. Not just me, but everyone that you've supported. It means a lot. And thank you for sending us on that trip, because it was 2 of the best weeks of my life.
Sick, sick. Well, maybe there'll be more coming too.
Yeah,
then.
fingers crossed.
Yeah. And speaking of sponsors, what do you got there? Modest Ride.
Yeah, Modest
Lace.
Ride.
Yeah.
And I got the lace sticker on there. Thanks, Jake.
No outerwear.
No outerwear, no.
Unusual.
I
What's
am getting some help from Stocker, just hooking me up with some gear, but nothing official or anything like that. So yeah.
Or maybe this will bring some promotion that we can get some fresh kit. What else we got here? Creativity, photography, mosaics, something you're into.
Yep.
How'd you get into all that?
I went to a Steiner school as a kid, so they are huge into being creative and doing art and stuff like that. So I actually mosaiced when I was really young. And then in high school I got into a little bit of trouble and my mum made me mosaic for punishment.
Yeah.
And then, I think just getting injured, snowboarding and skating, and when COVID kind of hit, it was like, okay, I'm not doing back-to-back winters anymore.
Yeah.
So just trying to find something else that was creative.
Creative outlet.
Yeah. And I guess that's how mosaicing started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you making any money from it now? You hustling them or what?
I'm really bad at selling them.
Yep. Where can people find them if they want to buy one?
People can find them on Austin Mosaics, the Instagram account, or I do have an Etsy account as well. But you know, if you hit me up privately, I might give you a discount.
There you go, guys. Throw her a follow, send her a DM.
Yeah.
Get a request. Support snowboarding. Come on.
Yeah.
Some of these people are throwing their carcasses off all sorts of things, and then they've got to have a side hustle to get money. So some support there. And you're obviously loving it. Something you're going to continue doing, or is it just for a pastime at the moment?
No, I will continue. I feel like, honestly, I went to a market at like the start of the year. I thought it was going to be a market where it was heaps of art, heaps of different stuff, but it ended up just being like secondhand clothes and then my mosaic store. And I didn't sell anything, and I was pretty rattled by that, honestly.
Yeah.
I think I went home and cried, and I haven't actually mosaiced since.
Oh shit. I know that feeling. I paint. I've had a show before and no one showed up.
But I am going to continue with it. I just needed a little break after that traumatizing day.
I think that's part of it with online too, like when you put it out there, like the things will come in slowly, you know what I mean, the likes or whatever, but to sell something is another sort of level, you know. Like I find that with art too, a lot of people sell their art with their mouth even though the picture's there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Strange market.
I think it's hard to sell stuff. People keep telling me it's hard to sell stuff, and I'm not sure if they're just being nice or if it actually is hard these days to sell art.
Well, I think it's hard to get people to spend money on anything at the moment, let alone something that you've made, handmade, you know. Like.
And like, you spend so much time doing it. Like, I remember at the market, these little girls would come up, and obviously, like, they're not trying to be mean, but they're like, "Oh my gosh, that's so expensive," and I'm like, "Oh, Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to charge more actually.
Yeah, I actually wanted to charge double than that.
Yeah. It turns out I'm getting $10 an hour for this. It's not that expensive. Yeah.
So.
I know that with art too. Like a lot of people just don't get that side of things. And now with the cost of living, it's probably going to get harder for that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's nice. I enjoy it. It's a nice creative outlet. So.
Yeah. And we spoke off camera about the industry and something that you wanted to get into, possibly in some way, shape or form.
Yeah.
Young girls coming up, a lot of them told us that they wanted to see you and your sister on this, hence why I'm getting you, and then I'll get your sister later, and then we'll do something further down the track together.
Yeah.
What was I getting at?
About the industry.
The industry, yeah. You want to talk about any of that or touch on any subjects or any advice for young girls that want to be pro snowboarders or work in the industry in any shape or form? What advice would you give to them?
What advice would I give to them? I think, and this is probably not what you ideally want to hear, but well, for one, you definitely have to be vocal and ask. Like, you're never going to get anywhere if you don't ask. Hearing no sucks, but you will get a yes eventually. And yeah, so I think the number one thing is you've got to ask, you've got to kind of back yourself in that way. Another thing that would definitely help you and benefit you is if you moved to either America or Canada. America would definitely be the most ideal place. The hub of snowboarding is there, and if you're going to rail jams and you're in the scene over there, it's going to be a lot easier way of becoming a professional, unless you go like the slopestyle route, but I can't really speak to that because I have not. But as a street snowboarder, I think, basing yourself in Canada or America would definitely be beneficial. Yeah.
Which is pretty, I wouldn't
sad.
say, it is sad, isn't it? I mean, you look at how expensive it is to come to the resort. You look at we spoke about this with Adam Klumper from Rhythm. Boards aren't stupidly expensive compared to 20 years ago, but there seems to be a lot of people driving shiny, nice cars that work in the industry, but not many snowboarders.
Yeah.
It's something I'm pretty passionate about. A lot of people don't like that I'm bringing it up in episodes continuously. Any thoughts on that?
Well, it's like, I guess it's hard. Like, I even would like to, the older I get, be in the industry in some way, but I don't even know how. Like, I don't know where I fit in.
Yeah. Do you think that's something that you'd have to shape yourself or create another lane or
I don't know,
a niche in the industry?
Like, yeah, maybe. I mean, Longy has done an amazing job at working out how he stayed into the industry, which is super inspiring. But I don't know if that is a way to go, or
like
if
a company or something.
Or if it's going in with another brand, like with a brand. I don't know.
Well, you're clearly creative. I'm sure you'd be a plus to any Australian snowboarding company out there. So if anyone's out there looking for a creative, maybe an art director or someone, maybe Andy James could get, when he gets his pro model with Public, Joe Sexton, maybe you could design some graphic for it.
Yeah, sweet Andy, I got you.
There you go. Anyone else that's looking to turn, well, maybe Val.
Yeah,
Val's got a pro model coming up soon.
Yeah, come on, I'll design it for you.
See, maybe that's a way into the industry, design, get enough money, take over the industry and just get a whole new girl gang on. Speaking of the girl gangs, you are travelling with any girls after this winter? Are you going anywhere, any plans?
We have some loose ideas right now.
Is that with Raf?
Yeah, that is with Raf.
Yep.
Yeah, not sure completely on set plans yet, but we would like to go to Europe.
Yeah, he said he's putting some proposals in for
yeah.
a street
Yeah,
trip.
so hopefully that happens. Hopefully the funds agree.
So you're obviously in on that then if that happens?
Yeah,
Yep.
I would love to go.
Sick.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to go. So hopefully that happens. 'Cause
Nice.
It'll be fun to go with the crew again.
And obviously you're riding with your sister. I saw you riding with a bunch of other girls today. Who is your crew these days? Who are you riding with?
Honestly, majority of the people who ride Front Valley, I would ride with any of them.
Yeah.
Obviously Georgia, I'm not doing the full season here this year, so every time I come down I do like to spend a majority of my time catching up with her, but you know, Deanna's up there killing it, Reiki's up there killing it, Lily's up there killing it, Anastasia's up there killing it.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of girls who are out there.
Who should I have on out of that crew then, other than your sister? Because I'm obviously going to get
them.
all of them. Should I have a
Why not?
Yeah, right. I'll tell them we
Yeah.
want them on.
Yeah,
Plenty of girls viewing. We want more girls, more women.
yeah,
We're supportive of you all. We want more in the park. We
yeah.
want, so get at us,
Yeah.
girls. Get at us if you
Yeah.
want to be on. Yeah. Speaking of that, big names. You got a few big names in your comments on your IG. Jill Perkins. See her on there. I've seen a
Yep.
couple other big names. Uninvited on the radar. Something like that.
I would love to go and see all those girls again.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Canada or America since COVID hit.
Yeah.
And I was spending majority of my winters and half my summers over there at that time. I was actually determined to become a Canadian resident for a long time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would love to go see all of them. Yeah, I boarded with Maria a lot in Whistler, so
Yeah.
I would love to go over there.
She's blown up too, hasn't
yeah,
she?
she's insane.
Yeah.
She is, an insane boarder. Her mental game is so good, very inspiring, and I loved boarding with her. Yeah.
Sick. Speaking of her, any big names come and visit? You got any friends coming internationals?
I haven't spoken to too many of them. I spoke to Lolo the other day, Lauren Dominio. I actually
Yep.
don't know if that's how you say her last name, but she's coming over for Tess Cody's Bush Stuff in September.
Yeah. So you'll be at that then, obviously.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't do a lot.
You might be partying at it instead.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully I can catch up with her again. She came over last year and we had some really fun days in the park together.
Cool.
Yeah. So happy to see her.
It's a pretty heavily male-dominated industry, this one. Anything that you'd change in this industry if you got to the top of it?
Oh, wow.
Other than just hooking more girls up? How would you?
If I had unlimited money, I would create a snowboard brand of some sort, and I'd put a bunch of the girls on and I'd send them on a trip and get them or give them the opportunity. I feel like it's really hard to give an opportunity kind of before you've done a lot, but
Yep.
it's also hard to do a lot with no money and no opportunity.
Yeah.
So I'd love to give a bunch of girls an opportunity to go and at least try.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, on the day-to-day riding I've seen you and your crew do, I think you could definitely bring out some killer clips, trips globally here. Any companies out there that got some spare change, hook this chick up. Get her and a crew over there. We want to see clips. People love Australian snowboarding and Australian snowboarders. Any last words for the people?
Thanks for having me on.
Yep.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you.
And thank you to everyone that has helped me. Chunk and Longy. You guys have been super helpful in giving me gear and supporting. So that's been, and Bo Armstrong, he gave me outerwear for a really long time. So that was really dope. And yeah, thanks to all my friends who are up there boarding with me every day. I would not have the experience I do without them.
Yeah. Well, as I said earlier, a lot of girls asked us to get you on the show, your sister. There you go, girls. Big dog.
You.
Episode 5, Backbone. We're out. You.